All right, welcome to Franchise Fridays. We're starting a new franchise, and it's the Rush Hour trilogy. You're starting those. Little note before I start, I'm also going to be doing the TV series because I've just realized I have access to watch it free on the CW seat. So I'm going to watch that in the meantime, during between the times I'm watching these, put out a review for that as well. So, Rush Hour. Also, from now on, I'm going to resort to randomly selecting my franchise. I think it's going to be a little fun. I'm going to write all the franchises I have access to and haven't done yet. Put them in a little container thing, shake it up, and pick it out once I'm done with the franchise. So we're going to start with Rush Hour movies. We're going to start with Rush Hour. And honestly, I bought this a couple of years ago off eBay. This is the first time I'm actually watching these. And I gotta say, well, while it was widescreen, it did look better than the usual DVD quality. But so Rush Hour is a trilogy of films starring Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. The first film came out in 1998 and starred Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan, Philip Baker Hall, Ken Leung from Lost, and Tom Wilkinson from the Dark Knight, Batman Begins. So yes, I think he played Falcone. But yes, this particular movie is about the Chinese consul, Consul Han. He is coming to America. Oh, see, can you see? Not Eddie Murphy though. Coming to America with his daughter, and his daughter gets kidnapped by Chinese crime syndicate ran by the mysterious Juntao. So the FBI are brought in to try to find her, and Consul Han says he wants to bring in his own person from China, that being Detective Inspector Lee, played by Jackie Chan, and the FBI decides that they're going to want to bring in someone to distract him so they can do their job, and that is Detective Carter from LAPD, Detective James Carter from LAPD, played by Chris Tucker. Yes, and so I've always said that Rush Hour 2 is the best of these three films. It's the one I saw first. Maybe I have more nostalgia for it, but this one, I enjoy all these films. I do see that there's some problems. So the first time we meet Detective Lee. We meet Lee. He stops the Juntao crime syndicate, or whatever you call him, and he. That's a long story, by the way. He stops the crime syndicate. He gets these ancient Chinese artifacts for a museum or something, and then, which is the plot point, by the way. And then we find out that Consul Han is going to America, his daughter with him. Lee has a connection to the daughter. They're very close. And it's Jackie Chan. He's a nice guy. Then we go to America. They say Americans are so mean. And we get Carter almost brings him over with his car. He shows up and he meets up with Chris Penn, who plays the character of Clive. And he's getting some C4 from Clive. These two bumbling cops show up to arrest them, holding them both at gunpoint. Carter is trying to keep going without breaking his cover, but these cops are just idiots. So here's the thing. Carter is undercover. He's with the LAPD. These two are cops. I'm presuming they're also with the LAPD. Why the hell don't they recognize Carter? You know, shouldn't they know? Shouldn't they recognize him? I mean, come on. But no, because of them, Carter is forced to improvise, which is never a good thing with Carter. He has to shoot the trunk, which has C4. It explodes. Clive somehow survives because he jumps out of it, and he gets arrested. The next day, though, Carter is in line to be suspended for what happened. Keep in mind, it wasn't totally his fault. The one thing he did wrong, from what I could tell, was that he didn't go with his partner who's on the bomb squad. And that's Johnson, I don't know who plays the actress that plays her, but she's only in this film, so she's not really that important. She is important in this film, but only thing I can see that he did wrong was take off without her, because he doesn't like partners because his dad's partner turned on him, sort of thing. But something like that. Like his dad partner failed him or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but he doesn't like partners because of that. So yeah, but he's in line to be suspended for what happened. Keep in mind, had those cops just, you know, recognized him or realized what was going on and just walked away? Or, you know, you could have told the cops that you had an operation going on in that area and for all cops that are in that area to stand down. It's not all Carter's fault, all right? You could have done something. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Isn't it also customary for him to be wired and someone to be listening on the other side? I'm just saying. So, yes. And so Carter goes into the office, and just as the FBI are calling, because they want someone from the LAPD to escort Lee around town to distract him. And so they bring him in. They tell him it's G14 classified, and he's working for the FBI. He gets to the consulate, whatever you call it. He gets told by the FBI agents, one of them is Erickson from the Saw 5 and 6. 5 and 6, yeah. Mark Ralston is the name. He also was one of the actors who played Alistair on Supernatural. But, yeah. And then he goes to pick up Lee. And I like this. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to commend on this, even throughout this goes for all three films, the relationship, the chemistry between Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker is fantastic. They, go off each other. There's, good stuff. This film in particular, though, I feel like there's some jokes that just... So, you don't know, a couple of years later, Shanghai Noon will come out. In that film, Jackie Chan's character's name is John Wayne, which people would mishear as John Wayne, because it takes place before John Wayne was a thing. So, here, and, retroactively, he stands in front of the Walk of Fame at Grauman's Chinese Theater in Chinatown, and he's standing on the star of John Wayne. I'm just like, okay, that's a funny poke. But this came out before that, so did they take it from this? I don't know. So while he's doing that, while he has Lee distracted, Carter goes to talk to the guy who lives the Maps to Stars homes, who's played by John Hawkes. I never realized it was John Hawkes, but it's fantastic. I love John Hawkes. He gets information, and then Lee, tries to run away. He's on a bus. There's this whole thing where Carter... And then it's a plot hole, too, because Carter believes he doesn't speak English. So he has a hard time talking to him. And he's even going, you understand what is going out of my mouth? And then it's revealed that he does speak English, and he goes, I never said I didn't speak English. You never asked me. You just assumed I didn't. And then at the end of the film, Carter speaks Chinese. And he goes, no, I never said I didn't speak Chinese. You just assumed I didn't. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. No. If you spoke Chinese, why didn't you speak Chinese to him earlier in the film? Because it wouldn't be funny otherwise. We gotta have misunderstandings so that it could be funny. But if you can speak Chinese, you see my problem? And one of the biggest problems with this whole thing is the FBI won't listen to them. Lee was brought in specifically by Counsel Han, and Carter goes in, he goes to interrogate these guys, and we get another joke that doesn't really work. He walks in and he says, what's up, my N-word, right? Before he does that, he says, follow me, do what I do. And he walks in, and that's the first thing he says is, what's up, my N-word? And it's just like, oh, gee, I wonder what's going to happen here. So they go to the back room. He pretends that these guys are thugs, really his cousin and cousin's gang or whatever. Talking to them, he tells Lee to stand outside. And he sits at the bar and he calls this guy who I think is white. I don't know. It was dark in there. He could be, you know. But he says, "What's up, my N-word?" He gets his ass kicked, or there's a not ass kicked, but there's a good fight scene. We gotta go. So he decides he's gonna stop. He's like, "What, you want a couple of noodles or something to eat?" And it turns out he knows gonna have me. He handcuffs him. He's like, "You don't know one with fast hands, huh?" Whoa! And he handcuffs him to the steering wheel. He comes out, the steering wheel's gone. And then you have Jackie Chan doing this stunt work to get into Consul Han's house. And they're like, okay, he's the FBI. But then the FBI still don't let him work with him. After Han says that's him, and he's going to work with the FBI, they don't do that. As a ransom call, they got to go to a building. It's a rundown building. Even Lee says, if you're asking for $50 million, would you be in a place like that? They don't listen. And so it ends up going down. And then they get yelled at again. They're like, you guys should say that. I'm like, you should have listened to them. It was a trap. They knew something was off. You wouldn't listen. You should have listened to Lee. But no, we're the FBI. We know what we're doing. They prove over and over again in this film they don't know what they're doing. Eventually, it does get to the point where they were going to have an operation to deliver the money, but they went in on the wrong territory and it messed it up. But gee, I'm still blaming the FBI on that, because if the FBI were actually working with Carter and Lee instead of pushing them away, they would have known about the plan and not have done that. It's almost as if working together would have actually got shit done. That said, Carter walking in and wanting to talk to Mr. Juntao. I do like the scene where he's in there. He's like, hey, what you watching? And you see the twist alert that Tom Wilkinson's character, Griffin, who's supposed to be a friend of Counselor Han, is actually a part of this, and he's Juntao is the little thing. I like that. And then, revealed later, they have the girl, and they have a bomb strapped to her, so they bring in Johnson to help. Because, they find a thing that can detonate C4, so they go to Clive. Clive says, guy who's looking for the stuff is Juntao, and that's how they connect everything. And eventually this leads to the exhibit for the Chinese artifacts that were rescued. And it's revealed that, Griffin is Juntao, and he wants the artifacts back. Because they were stolen from him, he told them he wanted back, that sort of thing. And so Lee and Carter, they come and save the day with Johnson. They're able to, Johnson's able to disarm this vest that has the C4 on it. And they bring that in. There's a whole thing where Jackie Chan is climbing. He's got the vest. It's really cool. There's a stunt where he slides down. I do like this, though, where he's hanging from the thing. Carter's like, Lee! He's like, Carter! Hold on, I'll be right back. Carter! I'm just playing. And then, he gets a thing and catches them stuff. I do... This line, though... He's like he caught him and he saved him. And he's like, kiss him. So what are you doing? He's like, I'm just being nice. I'm being grateful. He goes, next time be nice to my nuts. I'm just like, he was just kissing you and you're saying, never mind. But yes, they saved the day. It wasn't for them. They wouldn't have gotten things done. But no, every point, because we have to pad out time and have the FBI say no to them at every point so that eventually they can save the day. It's different in the second one. That's why I like the second one better. They're more cooperative with each other, stuff like that. And then, because Lee was going to be, after they fucked up at the Chinese restaurant or whatever, Lee was being forced to leave, and then they came back to save the day, and then Johnson disappears, and the Captain shows up. I think it's only in the third one. I don't think he's in the next one, because I think the next one, the movie timeline guy should do a timeline. I think the next one takes place right after this. So even though it's came out in 2002, 2001, 2002, what does it say? Come on. (2001). It could take place in 1998 because they're in Hong Kong and they're on vacation. They're on vacation, so it could take place right after each other. There's no way that Rush Hour 3 could take place right after it either. But it's been years, and Soo Young is all grown up now. But yeah, this is a pretty good movie. I like at the end, and I did it. I never said I didn't speak Chinese. You just assume I didn't. And then like, how long is this flight? 15 hours. 15 hours? Okay. It's a 15-hour flight from LA to China. Really? 15-hour flight to get from LA to China? God damn. No way. I would never be able to be on a regular flight, let alone 15 hours to China. Up in the air? He's like, what are we going to do with 15 hours? And then he's like, wow. What is he good for? Absolutely nothing. Because there's a scene earlier when they in the car and they get out and they do a little thing. That becomes sort of their song because they've been doing the third one too. Do it this way. I go that way. Whoa. What is he good for? Absolutely nothing. Like I said, they have fantastic chemistry. I think the cinematography is fantastic. The score is great. I like this movie, man. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's not as good as the second one, which for me holds the bar because the third one, I think the third one is probably on par with this. I mean, it's got a little more laughs, but yeah, it's because 8 out of 10 for me. I think that the main thing that drags it down for me is the whole FBI thing. Like, they were so against it, and they had to do that so that the plot couldn't be moved forward. Because if they all cooperated, this movie would be like an hour, if even. And they needed to stretch it out to 90 minutes. So that extra 30 minutes was because they kept pushing and pushing and pushing back. That's why they did it. It's 98 minutes. Credits, whatever. But, yeah, pretty good movie, 8 out of 10. So what are your thoughts on Rush Hour? Sorry, I'm not itchy. In the comments below, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.